Hi, Moms Against Medical Bullying. I wanted to make a quick video about the true history of vaccines. Um, and I'm going to read this off of a doctor's a blog. And I wanted to read it from her. I'm just going to say it's from Dr. Sherry Tempania. I'll just give her the credit for the little summary that she wrote, which I fully agree with because this is what I've been reading about. And I just agree with a lot, everything basically that she wrote and she summarized. So I just wanted to read that summary here and about the truth about the history of vaccines, and that Edward Jenner was not the one who came up with the idea of inoculation. It started way before him. So I'm just going to read it off. She writes, history has given credit for the development of the smallpox vaccine to Edwin, she writes, Jenner. But vaccination against smallpox actually goes back much further. First smallpox inoculations were administered in 500 AD in India as a superstition practiced by the common people. They were told that the gods would protect them if they inoculated with smallpox scabs. When the people started to observe the damage and illness caused by the procedure, they revolted. They tried to abandon the custom, but physicians who made a lot of money administering the scabs continued to promote the myth of smallpox protection. Local authorities even forbade the general public from speaking out against the supposed benefit of the vaccination or inoculation. Sound familiar? Fast forward nearly 1,000 years. In the 1400s, the Chinese practiced a method of nasal insufflation, where smallpox scabs were ground into powder and blown into the nostrils. Many appeared to develop a resistance to the virus, but some died horrible deaths when the virus migrated from the nasal passages along the olfactory nerves directly into the brain. In Europe, the first recorded inoculations against smallpox were in Denmark in 1673. The program was abandoned due to a high number of deaths. The real credit for the beginning of smallpox vaccination across Europe belongs to Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, the wife of the British ambassador to Turkey. In 1770, she wrote A Friend in England detailing a process called engrafting, where a small speck of smallpox scab was inserted into the web between the fingers, which was thought to prevent smallpox. A little known fact about the smallpox virus is that it had a predilection for the oils in the skin of the face. This is why vaccination was widely embraced by the wealthy aristocracy. It was about vanity. If those with financial means contracted the pox, it was assumed the wealthy dames and gents were mixing with the poor. During the Victorian era of the 1700s and 1800s, beauty was so important among the wealthy, they were willing to undergo and risk the possible complications of the smallpox procedure to avoid the scars on the face that were frequently left behind after an infection. Lady Montagu's engrafting method was widely embraced, and by 1721, thousands of wealthy women and women of the court had undergone the engrafting procedure. For the sake of vanity. But by 1728, the method was discredited and abandoned due to a large number of serious side effects and because many who thought they were protected had contracted smallpox. It was nearly 70 years later when the story of Jenner began, leading to the injection of foreign matter into the arms of healthy babies, a failed procedure that has continued for more than 200 years. It was nearly 70 years later when I read that already. What other little known facts? Okay. Yep, that's about it. So yeah, that's a summary of the truth about vaccination. And it's true that even when Jenner started his method, and well, actually there were So Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, and then other doctors picked it up too. And then there were even different methods among those doctors of vaccinating. Like they were arguing, oh, should we puncture slightly into the skin or puncture deeply? Like those were the different methods. And then Jenner came out with the whole, the rumor about the milkmaids, yada, yada. Started doing that. And then he even ventured on to say about horse grease, mixed, in with the cow. And I mean, just a disgusting mess, really. But the vaccine was never effective. Outbreaks always happened in those heavily vaccinated in the armies. There's educated men and women that wrote about this through history. And at the time, just like the book Vaccination Proved Useless and Dangerous, that has the statistics to back up that the smallpox vaccination was never effective and it always caused sickness, disease, and death. So, the thing about vaccines saving humanity is a fairy tale. It's a literal fairy tale. And anyone on the media, you can't deviate from what we already know and what is in the books. We're not allowed to deviate from that storyline with anything, really, So, that's about it. Thanks.